Everybody, welcome. Come on in. I'm Lindsay. This is Knowledge Uprising. Show will begin soon. Well, it's been a while. Everyone, welcome. Welcome to the late show. Um, had to start it off right. Get some little music going, a little something, something to start it off right. Everybody, welcome to the late show. I'm Lindsay, and this is Knowledge Uprising and Knowledge Uprising Worldwide. If you tuning in over there, know it's been a while since I did a late show, so I decided to do one tonight. All right, so first off, let's talk about a couple things. Uh, where should I begin? Where should I begin? Well, let's see. First, I'm going to remove this from the stream. We stop sharing that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Bigger, wider view. Turn the camera on. So, how's everyone doing out there tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. Tonight's topic. Should have did this beforehand, but I did not. So, y'all have to bear with me. Tonight's topic. Should I create a banner? You see here. Okay. See here. Simulation argument. That's going to be the topic for tonight. If you guys are not familiar with it, a philosopher out of Oxford in 2003 published an article. His name was Nick. His name is Nick Bostrom, and he's proposing that there's three fundamental ideas, and one of them has to be true. So I guess we can expand on that, starting off the show, if you guys don't mind. So just to get you guys touched up and familiar with it, we're gonna hold on. We're gonna pop some stuff up on the screen. Hope you guys get an understanding. Let's see here. Pop this paper up. Okay, let's go back over here and share screen. Let's see how that looks over there. Okay. Now, here is the article. I found it. And just to give you guys a rough draft of just a little basic talk through of it, so you guys can get a better understanding of what the simulation argument is. I'm gonna just give you a brief run through, breaking it down before we get into the article. The simulation hypothesis is a proposal regarding the nature of existence which possesses all the existence is in an artificial simulation, such as a computer simulation. Some versions rely on the development of a stimulated reality, a proposed technology that will be able to convince its inhabitants that the simulation was real. The simulation hypothesis bears a close resemblance to various other skeptical scenarios from throughout history of philosophy. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm very intrigued by the holographic universe. I even have the book. I've been reading it, and I really enjoy it. And just reading that book helps me understand more of the holographic theory. But with this, I think these two, they kind of, how can I say this, go together, if you know what I mean. So this paper argues that at least one of the following propositions is true. And basically, that's what it's about, the three propositions. Each proposition has an idea that's similarly different from the other ones. And the third proposition is it's just if you don't believe the first two, then the third one must be true. So the first proposition is the human species is very likely to go extinct before reason post-human stage. Basically, what the first proposition is saying that the first proposition is basically saying that human species or just any species they go extinct before they can reach technological maturity, which means that I'm going to give it a good sense for you, a good idea of breaking down the first proposition. Let's say that we found a way to destroy the world, like let's say the atom bomb. Let's put that in perspective. Now, without understanding that technology, we can kill off ourselves. And it doesn't happen before in history, civilizations done killed themselves before they reached technological maturity. The second proposition is that any post hominin civilization, which is any civilization that did reach technological maturity, is extremely unlikely to run a significant number of civilizations of their evolutionary history or variance, therefore, which means that they got bored with that technology. And why should they run a simulation and control people? They would certainly have a type of feeling about doing something like that. Far as advanced as they is, they wouldn't want people to go through the pain of a simulation and not knowing you're in one, you know? And that's like for advanced civilizations. And let's just get to the third one. The third one is we are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. So with saying that if you believe that the that the first two could not be plausible, then you would have to agree with the third one. And we're gonna break these down some more. I just really wanted to talk about this subject. I thought it was quite intriguing. Get a better understanding. I'm gonna let you guys hear the three possibilities from the guy that wrote the paper. So give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Let's pop this brother up. Okay. Let's see here. How can I do this? Stop sharing this and share. Let's see here. Stop the camera. Share. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's click on this one.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with the
Okay, now we do not want the ads. We do not want to hear the ads. Talking about students with ADHD.
Well, there is this article that I published back in 2003 presenting the simulation argument. This is an argument that tries to show that at least one of three propositions is true, although it doesn't tell us which of these three. The three propositions in question is first, that almost all civilizations at our stage of technological development go extinct before they reach technological maturity. So that's the first possibility. A second possibility is that there is a very strong convergence among all technologically mature civilizations, in that they all lose interest in creating ancestor simulations, as I call them. These would be very detailed computer simulations of people like their historical forebears, detailed enough that the simulated people in these simulations would be conscious. So the second possibility is that they just lose interest in doing this. And the third possibility is that we are almost certainly living in a simulation. So there's this argument that shows that one of these three is true. And the full argument involves some probability theory, but the basic idea can be grasped quite simply, which is that suppose it were the case that the first possibility did not obtain. So then some non-trivial fraction of civilizations at our stage eventually reach technological maturity. Then suppose the second possibility also does not obtain. So some non-negligible fraction of those mature civilizations are still interested in using the resources to running ancestor simulations. You can then show that because each mature civilization that devoted some resources to this purpose could run astronomical numbers of ancestor simulations, you can show that if the first two possibilities do not obtain, then there will be many, many more simulated people like us than there will be non-simulated people like us. In other words, almost all people with our kinds of experiences would be living inside simulations rather than outside them, if the first two possibilities are false. And conditional on that, we should therefore think we are probably one of the typical simulated people rather than one of the exceptional non-simulated people. So the structure of the argument then is that if you reject the first two hypotheses, then the third one follows, which then means you can coherently reject all three. That's the structure of the simulation argument.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours.
So you see, if you neglect the first two, the third one has to be true. And it's very intriguing because it makes you think. Had to make a chess move. But I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I thought it was a very, very intriguing topic. So I want to look at the second proposition. Sean Hyman, I see you, brother. How you doing? Peace. So advanced civilizations that did reach technological maturity will have no interest in creating a simulation. They will basically get bored and would have some other kind of advanced technologies and wouldn't want to run an ancestor simulation. That's quite profound. I won't say intriguing, but it's profound also. And the first proposition is that we go extinct. And the reason the first proposition is so intriguing because civilizations do reach a certain peak or height of advancement and end up killing themselves with the things they created. That's why I brought up the atom bomb, And there might be other powerful things out here. It's basically saying before we can even get to that point, we kill ourselves off. You know what I mean? We kill ourselves off. And it can possibly be true because you got people with big egos and get on a power trip and want to control everything, We can even bring the New World Order in for that matter. This is just the first proposition. It makes you think like, yeah, before we can reach some advancement of super intelligence because of the technology that we have now is so profound and powerful, we can kill ourselves, fight ourselves and go extinct. Now, those was just the first two propositions. Let's go to the third one. If you don't believe the first one, that we can't go extinct and kill off ourselves, and if proposition 2, that we done got so advanced with technology that it would be bored to be in a simulation, and why would we want to run some ancestor simulation? It's just boring. But now, let's go into that argument. Because knowing what's going on with the world right now, people are trying to do augmented reality, video games. Every 5 to 10 years, video games look realer and realer, So pretty soon, it's going to be hard to tell what's real and what isn't, And I done read up on it, looking into certain things when, let's say you just stuck in this reality or this VR world for so long, you start to believe that it's real, and that is reality. Right? So that brings us to proposition 3, that we are most certainly living in a simulation. Can we be, or are there NPCs? Look at that movie with Ryan Reynolds, where he's an NPC in a video game. Could that be life as we know it? I was looking at this intriguing video the other day, and there was this one guy, right? He was just wondering, like, when you're not looking at something, are they still real? Are they still part of reality? Basically, what he was talking about is that he was at a party and he would have this paranoia that everybody around him only exists because he's there at that moment. And when he leaves and they leave out his eyesight, that they don't render. He actually had this idea that when he wasn't looking at the people or in the people presence, or if they wasn't in his view, that they would go in a room and just stand in a T shape. And that's just like let's just give, oh yeah, the holographic universe, yeah, man. So let's look at this idea. In a video game, right? When you look at reality of the video game, the world, let's call it a metaverse, because that's basically what it is. It's something created by a supercomputer. And a supercomputer is what powers the program to run the game, right? Now, once you're inside the metaverse of the game, let's talk, for instance, Grand Theft Auto, right? Now, when you're in the car and you're driving, right, you see everything that's in front of you. And then you look off to this way, everything starts to render in real slow. You notice that? So now, if we put that perspective in reality, then that means that it has to be a whole lot of computing power in order to render something, unless that it's only been rendered and observed, right? Now you follow me? It's only been rendered when observed, so that saves computing power, if you catch my drift. So from that standpoint, it makes you think that it has to be some strong ass computing power in order to render all these images. It's something beyond holographic, you know. But the holographic universe plays a part in this too. Now, I was also looking at something, right? The smaller things get, right? In order to see that, you have to condense the light source smaller and smaller and smaller until it collapses. And when it collapses, it turns into a black hole. It's just something to think about, to see the microscopic world, you know? Now, thinking about how when you're playing a game, you're in the metaverse, right? You're in this reality of the game. Now think of that as far as you right now out in the world. The people are the creator of this existence as outside of this realm, if you follow me. I mean, because it can't be observed. It's just like if you're in Grand Theft Auto playing it, you can observe the video game that's running it. It's outside this universe, and man, it gets deep. I'm thinking and thinking. It's kind of profound. It makes you think, man. And I want to go back to the first proposition, that most civilizations go extinct before they can reach technological maturity. And it makes you think, right? Earth, the only place in the universe that inhabits, that we know of, us humans, us Homo sapiens, right? So that means we are being rendered into this world, right? Now, the crazy part is there's no planet or nothing else near us that we can say really exist. So, with that proposition, you can say that most life in the universe, as far as our observation, has gone extinct, right? Because at some point, something happened. They discovered some great technology and bam. And right now, I believe we're not even a level 3 civilization. We don't have mega starships and all that. You know, it's something that sounds very interesting, but we haven't reached that yet. Will we reach that? That's the intriguing question. I'm just going back and forth through the propositions. Now, with proposition 2, why would you get bored of a simulation, right? Is it because you just, I don't know, maybe when I'm thinking like that, right? Proposition 2, that means they had to already do it. And once they done already did it, they got bored with it, right? I'm just thinking like that, you know. But I don't know, man. This is a very intriguing topic. I'm not gonna keep you guys too long. I just figured I'd do a late show talking about that. But I want to build about this some more. I really like this topic, you know, like topics like the holographic universe and the simulation argument. I like talking about stuff like that because it makes me think. This guy, he was doing an interview and he was talking about how he was in a what they call it, one of them big old tubs you lay down in. It's kind of like that new movie with Hugh Jackman, like a sleep deprivation chamber, right? And he actually found one, and he wanted to do some therapy in the sleep deprivation chamber. And you know, basically, it's just like the movie. You know, you fall off to sleep, and before you do that, you ask some questions. And he said once he got relaxed inside the sleep deprivation chamber, he felt like he was outside of his body, and it was like he could feel everything in his body moving. And he realized that it was more to reality than what he thought, you know. And there was this other instance where this guy it was part of the same interview, but a different guy. And he was talking about how he was in church and he was just looking around at everyone. And they started singing the hymns and songs, right? And he said he just had this uncomfortable feeling like couldn't no one see him and what's going on, and like couldn't no one see him. And they started doing these chants, and the more they did it, he looked around and it was like the people's NPCs. And it was like he had this experience to where it's like his whole body materialized. And it was like everybody was an NPC, and he just had this clarity or this understanding. I gotta watch a movie. I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check that out, Sean. But man, yeah, that was just listening to some of them conversations made me want to even talk about this even more, because I be thinking about simulation theory, and it's a lot to deal with in that situation. It's a lot. It really is. But yeah, I'm gonna check out your movies, Sean. I know it got to be good, man, because you always be doing your thing with the videos. But yeah, man, this is just the first, how can I call it? Talk about it. This is just gonna be the first talk, but it's a lot of stuff with this subject, man. Because it has to be something outside of computing that is as powerful or even more powerful than a computer. It's clearly, it's not a computer that's running us. It wouldn't be a computer that's running this reality into a simulation. It wouldn't be that. It'd be some kind of technology beyond that. Some kind of advanced technology. It's a very intriguing topic, though, man. I love it. Now, I appreciate everyone that's watching this video. If you guys got anything you want to leave in the comment section, go ahead. And if you found this video intriguing, or you got something to add to the conversation, leave a comment. But I'm Lindsay, and this is Knowledge Uprising. Thank you for watching The Late Show. Peace. Decoded Memories. I'm going to check it out, brother. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later.